So, hello everyone. Thank you for coming. As you've heard, my name is Christopher DeCaros. I'm a research assistant at the Center for Development of Open Technology, team of Popcorn.js and Popcorn Maker. Today, I'd like to share with you some examples about how the free and open source software that I work on every day is being used in commercial software around the world. So to start, I'm going to give you a quick look at Popcorn.js and Popcorn Maker, give you some examples and a demonstration. And then I'd like to talk to you about how open source software is currently used in business. Then I would like to show you and demonstrate some of the products and services being offered by companies that use Popcorn.js and Popcorn Maker. So what is Popcorn.js? Popcorn is an open source HTML5 media framework written in JavaScript. It allows the creation of time-based interactive media using HTML5 video. Because of the proliferation of Flash media on the web from services like YouTube and Vimeo, who've dominated the internet for several years, we also extended it to work with these Flash-based medias. So we're not just limiting ourselves to HTML5 video. I created this simple demo for you. As you notice, this presentation is running inside of a web browser. So this demo is live and it's running JavaScript and HTML, all Popcorn. The code at the bottom is all it took to tell Popcorn to create a simple text event. It's actually kind of small. But here, let me show you. So that was the most basic example of Popcorn I could give you in 10 seconds. What's happening is Popcorn is monitoring the time of the video. And between 5 and 10 seconds, I've told it to display that red text. That's the basic functionality of Popcorn, is time-based events. And it's not just limited to text. You can also use things like Google Maps, Facebook, Twitter, Flickr. We've got plugins for all of them. And we have a plugin system that makes it easy for developers to create any kind of plugin they want, with the only limit being their imagination. Popcorn requires a basic knowledge of JavaScript to use, and it's not very accessible to people who don't know JavaScript. So we created something called Popcorn Maker to solve this problem. It creates Popcorn pages with no knowledge of JavaScript required. It's based on the Butter SDK, a Popcorn authoring framework. And through its simple drag and drop interface, you can create these Popcorn pages. It works in HTML5 compliant browsers like Firefox, Chrome, and Safari. And it's also part of the Mozilla WebMaker program. The Mozilla WebMaker program is designed to create a generation of webmakers, people who don't only consume web content, but they also have the knowledge and know-how to create and share their own web content. Let's take a look at Popcorn Maker, and I'll show you how it works. Assuming the network works. OK. So this is Popcorn Maker. Right at the top, you'll see that we have a header. You can see your demo, or the name of your project, and some save and preview buttons. On the right-hand side, we've got the editor area, which I'll come back to later. And on the bottom, we have the timeline. The timeline represents all of the Popcorn events in the video visually. So to create an event, all you have to do is drag an event from the editor on the right and drop it onto the timeline. And it will create the event you want. You can also use the editor that opens to change the topic that you want, or any custom settings of the plugin. fsoss. So now I've got tweets about fsoss coming in live. I also have a media editor. That lets you take a link to any media you find on the web that you want to remix in Popcorn Maker, drop it in, and Popcorn Maker is going to load it up for you. The share editor is where you can give your project a name, and then it'll give you a link that you can share with your friends, family, and the internet. Let's take a look at what that looks like. So this is a published Popcorn Maker project. We built a custom UI that allows you to use the full experience of Popcorn Maker. There's some bugs, but we're working on that. And so that's just a direct link to your Popcorn Maker project. It's also much more useful if you can embed it in pages, like your Tumblr, your WordPress. And so we enabled that. The share editor gives you embed code that you can put in your website. In fact, I've embedded a project right into this presentation. One of the cool things about our player is that it provides you with tools to share the project you're looking at. And I think the coolest feature is the remix feature. So if I really like this project and I think I can make it better or remix it, make it my own flavor, I can click it, and then I get dropped right into Popcorn Maker with that same project, all the events, and I can edit it. If the network lets me. There we go. So now that I've shown you about Popcorn and Popcorn Maker, let's take a look at how the open source business model works. Using open source software to make money is not something new. And one thing I noticed going through Seneca's CPA program, talking to my fellow students, I found that they always said that there's no money in open source software. But I think all of you would agree with me in saying that's not true. There are many companies that use open source software as part of their business product. Here's some of the biggest. There's Oracle with MySQL, Red Hat, who offers enterprise Linux, Zimbra, who offers an open source mail server, and Automatic, the owners of WordPress.com. They make money using open source software by offering added value. And this added value comes through things like offering hosting services for websites or databases, implementation services, so if they don't know how to set it up, they'll provide experts who know how to set it up, and technical support, so if something breaks, they'll be able to get professional technical support for the software. Let's take a look at how one company implements this. Automatic, the owners of WordPress.com. They provide WordPress sites for free with basic features like posting, pages, basic designs. And to make money, they sell things like customized designs, Vault Press, which is for automatic backups, Akismet anti-spam technology, which I use on my website, and it's really great, and WordPress.com VIP, which is for corporate customers, offering things like technical support from WordPress gurus, backups, content distribution networks, and enhanced security. So who is using Popcorn Maker right now and Popcorn.js? These are the companies that I would like to talk to you about. And let's start off with Ramp. Ramp offers their clients content optimization services. What this means is they help their clients to deliver and expose their media on their websites in a more efficient manner. And Popcorn.js is a clear way to help them out. And they identified this, and they built something they call the MetaPlayer framework. The MetaPlayer framework allows Ramp to deliver video with associated metadata, and then uses Popcorn.js to display it. One example of how they used this technology was with the People's Award Choice 2011 website. Ramp was able to expose previously inaccessible content and then linked it to over 1,500 archived videos. And I'd like to show you how that works.
Now our next presenter, well, he was brilliant at the Rat Pack when he was playing Sammy Davis Jr. He was powerful, playing the role created by Sammy Davis Jr. in Ocean's 11. And he's always sensational. Ladies and gentlemen, Don Cheadle.
So it's clear right off the bat how Popcorn enhanced that experience. When the presenter spoke the name of the famous person, their biography and information would appear on the right. And that was timed using Popcorn. Moving on, I'd like to talk to you about Big Blue Button, a product, pardon me, a product created by Blindside Networks. It is an open source web conferencing software with a focus on education. Popcorn comes into play because of its playback and recorded sessions. Blindside makes money using Big Blue Button by selling the support and setup of it in production environments. And so what I did was I used Seneca's implementation of Big Blue Button, and I created this really sparse session where I did a little bit of video, and just to give you an idea of how Popcorn is used. So this is what a recorded session looks like. On the right you have your slide, or on the left you have your slides. The center you have the actual slide. On the top you have your chat messages, and on the bottom you have your video. When it's black, that means there was no video being shown at that point. But at around 25 seconds, I enabled my webcam, and I should pop up. There I am. And then I started typing chat messages. Any second now. So as that happened live, Big Blue Button was recording that data. And when it saved the presentation and you load it up, that data is turned into Popcorn events, and you can watch it back in real time. Next, I'd like to talk to you about PBS NewsHour. PBS is a nonprofit organization in the States that does television programming and web programming. And to gain an edge over their competition, they don't operate like a normal for-profit business would. They need to get better programming and more interactive content to pull users into them. And to do this, they created an AdLibs app. They worked with Mozilla and the design firm Occupop to create it. What it does is it lets the user create stereotypical political advertisements about themselves. And it's integrated with Facebook. And I think it's best if I just give you a demonstration of it. Crossing my fingers. Oh, it's asking me to log in. Really? There we go. So you can choose several types of ads. The first is a biographical ad, which lets you insult someone's character. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. So the positive ads, they support you as a candidate for presidency, and the negative ads say why you shouldn't be president. And while doing this, they also provide facts about how these ads work to the users, and they use real-world examples from previous political advertisements over the years. So let's try this out.
Don't you wish candidates
Let's go get some stock footage. How about that?
came with a disclaimer? Are they trustworthy? Do they mean what they say? The truth can get lost in a sea of doublespeak.
I'm a jelly-filled donut.
How can we trust a candidate who says this? Heed the warning signs. A vote for this candidate is a vote against America.
So after the creation process, you can share this with your friends or play it back. And the playback is using Popcorn.js to to do all those time-based event things like showing the photos and putting up the text. So why don't we take a look at the full one without the interruptions.
Don't you wish candidates came with a disclaimer? Are they trustworthy? Do they mean what they say? The truth can get lost in a sea of doublespeak. How can we trust a candidate who says this? Heed the warning signs. A vote for this candidate is a vote against America.
So that was all done with Popcorn.js. It's really fun, and it's fun to share it on Facebook and have your friends laugh at you. And I think by using that, PBS did achieve their mission of getting better programming, more interactive content, and I think it's a good way for them to increase interest in PBS. And using Popcorn.js is a really good way to do that with media. The next company I'd like to talk to you about is a startup based in Toronto called Fivel. They are building tools and services that make heavy use of Popcorn.js and Popcorn Maker. What they do is they offer companies and individuals quick, easy, and effective means to learn how to use the technology that they interact with every day. It's also worth noting that they employ former CDOT employees, Daniel Hodgin, Mohammed Boutu, and Bud Latanville. The product they offer takes the form of interactive tutorial modules that use the Popcorn.js framework. They're also developing a custom version of Popcorn Maker that's going to allow them to quickly and efficiently create tutorial modules for their service. And in the future, they plan on opening it up to third parties so that they will be able to create tutorial modules themselves and submit them to the Fivel service. I'd like to give you a demonstration, but their product isn't quite ready yet. It's going to be in a closed beta in several weeks, maybe a month. But their website just went live, and you can go there to get a detailed explanation of what kind of services they're going to offer. So there are several apps available right now that are similar to Popcorn Maker in function. And I'm going to talk to you about some of them. The first is called Ziga. Ziga is a company that is dedicated to redefining the idea of the web page. They're creating tools that enable creators to make web pages that better integrate the web better integrate web content that is traditionally a separate part of your experience on the internet. These sites are called Zigas, and the name comes from the filmmaker and radio journalist Ziga Vertov. Zigas are a new kind of interactive storytelling using nonlinear means. The experience changes depending on how the user interacts with these Zigas, and it's an interesting mashup of media content that you can't get anywhere else. The published Zigas use Popcorn.js for all of their time-based media. I'm going to try and give you a demo. It's still in a closed alpha, but I have an account that I can use. And the last time I tried it out, it was kind of glitchy, so bear with me, please. So this is what Ziga looks like. You've got your stage area on the bottom right. You've got your intro sequence and frames on the top. Those are how it differs from Popcorn Maker, in that instead of having one piece of media that you attach events to, you create a story using frames and sequences. And these frames and sequences can integrate media inside of each one. On the left, you have your editor, so you can look at your media pieces and change them around. You can change height and width. A very cool feature of the app is the media library. So let me just stop this. So what I can do is I can grab this bookmarklet, and I don't think this thing has a bookmarks bar. There we go. So using this bookmarklet, I can drop it on. I can go to YouTube and find my favorite video. I can activate the bookmarklet. Oh wow, that did not work. Pardon me. Oh no, no. There we go. All right. I did that incorrectly. So let's just choose any video. How about that? When I activate the bookmarklet, I get access to my media library, and I can add it to my media. And then it instantly appears in my media library ready to use in Ziga, which is a really cool feature. All right, moving on. The next product I'd like to show you is another startup called HappyAck. HappyAck lets you annotate and share your favorite videos from services like YouTube and Vimeo by letting you draw, write, and import images over the video. It's a very simple concept, but it's really cool because it allows you to create things like tutorials. And why don't I just show you? I would like to show you this robot. So with HappyAck, oh man, there we go. So I can use the tools in HappyAck to draw things on the video. And then it is playable. So Popcorn.js records what you draw, what you overlay on the video, and then it's able to play it back. And then you can share these with your friends and family. A very popular use of the service right now is to do walkthroughs in gaming. So they use the drawing feature to show different tips and tricks. They currently have it as a free service, but they're exploring avenues to monetize it in the future. So in conclusion, Popcorn, it has the power to enhance video on the web like never before. And that brings a lot of value to web video, which companies can take advantage of and create a product offering that no one else can. I'm very excited to see where Popcorn's going, and I hope to be there for it. Thank you. So we have some time. I can take some questions.
Has anybody, I think I might have asked this in the earlier session, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, has anybody used Popcorn Maker to add or edit subtitles to videos, like standard subtitles that you would see?
I don't know any right off the top of my head, but it is a use that can be done for it. There's a Mozilla project, I think it's called Amara, and it is a database of subtitles for videos on the web. And we're looking at ways that we can integrate it with Popcorn Maker. So you'll be able to load up a video and then load in the subtitles from Amara. So subtitling is a very big opportunity for this software.